Press release on the 3rd of September 2024 by Nigerian Union of Journalists. NUJ condemns attack on South-South. NUJ condemns attack on South-South Voice publisher. The Nigerian Union of Journalists, Rivers State Council, has condemned an alleged verbal attack on his member and the publisher of the South-South Voice newspaper, Mike Chibuoso Iwezor, by a member of the House of Representatives, Hon Blessing Amadi. Hon Amadi, who represents Port Harcourt Federal Constituency 2 in the Green Chambers of the National Assembly, was alleged to have verbally assaulted Mr. Iwezor in a telephone conversation and threatened to deal with him in a manner he will not like. The union, in a statement signed by its chairman, Job Stanley, and secretary, Ike Wigodo, respectively, described the alleged verbal attack on Mr. Iwezor as an abuse of political office and unwarranted intimidation by Hon Amadi to prevent Mr. Iwezor from carrying out his constitutional obligation to inform and educate the public. The South-South Voice newspaper had reported in its last edition with the headline, "Fagarians Reject Poor Representation," that the two members of the House of Representatives representing Port Harcourt constituencies, Hon Blessing Amadi and Hon Manu Chimso Umezurike, had failed in their duties to speak for their people or sponsor bills that will benefit their constituencies. Rather than debunking the reports and set the record straight in a civilized manner required of an honorable member, Hon Blessing Amadi allegedly resorted to verbal attack on Mr. Chibuoso Iwezor and also threatened his life. The union frowned at this dishonorable attitude by Hon Blessing Amadi and called on security agencies to investigate the verbal attack on Mr. Iwezor. Hon Blessing Amadi should know that she is holding political office and that she is accountable to the people of her constituency and state. We want to educate Hon Blessing Amadi that verbal attacks and threats to lives of journalists who criticized her would not save her but will rather worsen the situation. The publisher of the South-South Voice newspaper merely reminded Hon Blessing Amadi of her duties to her constituency and the need to buckle up. If Hon Blessing Amadi found the South-South Voice newspaper's reports to be false, she has the right of reply and rebuttal, and not to resort to attack and intimidation of the newspaper's publisher. We therefore condemn in very strong terms the alleged verbal attack on our member and warned politicians against unwarranted intimidation and harassment of journalists in the state. Signed, Job Stanley, Chairman, Nigerian Union of Journalists, Rivers State Council. Ike Wigodo, Secretary, NUJ, Rivers State Council. Let me start with you, Jackson. What is your take on the story?
I think I blame it all on the constituent.
Okay.
And I doubt if they profile Honorable Blessing Amadi very well before she was voted to that office. Because a lot of persons, they do not know that when they vote you in to be member of State House of Assembly or House of Rep or Senate, a lot of them do not know that they are just a proxy representing the people. They believe that is their office. That is not their office. It is the office of the people, that you are just representing them as a proxy, standing in for them. And if you are sleeping in the House of Reps, that means your constituency is sleeping. If you are a dumb member, that means your constituency is dumb. If you are misbehaving, that means your constituency is misbehaving. And the onus lies on the people to quickly call you to order. And people need to really ask you, what have you done? Some members of House of Reps will be maybe presenting bill 4 or 5. Some are just dumb members. They just say either say yeah or nay. Is that what the constituency sent you to go and do? And then somebody call you from that same constituency a journalist that has the right, even a journalist from Ghana has the right to ask you, what have you been doing for your people? How have you been representing your people? But I think this particular person is from that same federal constituency. And instead of you, if you feel bad about it, I think you can always present yourself in a television station, radio, or newspaper, on any other media platforms to respond and to educate people. Look at what I've been doing. Look at what I've not been able to do. Look at the reason why I've not been able to do this. But by lambasting a journalist, honestly, and even threatening the life, I think is out of what? It's out of normalcy. It's an abnormality. You understand? And if the people still live out there, it depends on them. But I think with this one, the journalists across the country, they could allow her to be whatever, anything that had to do with her, they will not make her public again. That is one. Two, the people of the federal constituency have the right to begin to remove him, to recall him, to recall her, I mean. You understand? But maybe after now, maybe we tender apology to the people of the constituency or the journalists and the union of journalists as a whole. Let us be watching.
All right. When you made mention of the journalists in this instance not bringing up issues concerning her. Now, to a large extent, isn't that what she wants in the first place? When she is actually attacking the journalist because the journalist questioned her duties as a representative of the people in the House of Representatives. So if the journalist let her be, hasn't she won? Because what it means is she's no longer in the radar of the people. At what point did it become wrong? At what point did it become offensive for journalists to ask questions, for journalists to investigate what is going on in the society, particularly when a House of Rep member, in this instance, representing the people, according to the journalist, is doing nothing in the House, and yet collecting payments, collecting constituency projects, and we should let her be because apparently she's not comfortable being called out for not doing anything in the House of Reps.
The process of recall starts from there. Because if you decide to be out of circulation, that means you are not doing anything well. If you are doing the thing very well, definitely you want the whole world to know what you are doing. So in a situation whereby she is now fighting the journalist, is another way of telling them that I don't want you to publicize anything that has to do with me. And by the time you are doing that, that is to say you know that you are not really doing anything worthy of publications. Right. And the people of that constituency have the right. That is the only way to bring a person out of the Senate, out of assembly, or exactly. They could start recall process. All right. Those people that voted have the right to write to INEC that they want to recall her. It is possible. All right. It is doable.
All right.
Yes.
What is your take on this story, Dr. Nelson?
Okay, without recalling or repeating what he has said already, this is a democracy. And whoever aspires to public office must be willing and ready to be criticized.
Yes.
Your life is practically in the public domain.
Yes.
And by the nature of democracy and the expectations, it means that even your private life can be exposed, can be discussed. You have no more privacy once you aspire to public office.
Exactly, sir.
And if you are not ready for that level of scrutiny, even for your own private life, then you don't aspire to public office. The other thing to add is that threat to life is a very serious matter anytime, any day, even among private citizens. So the police should get involved and investigate this matter, because it is when we do nothing about things like this, when things get out of hand, we start running and trying to do catch-up.
Yes.
Again, it's important to note that both the constituency and the party have responsibilities in ensuring credible representation. The parties have a role to play in monitoring their representatives that are elected on their platform, helping them to sell agenda. And then the constituency also, there's one of the members of House of Reps from the East, that very active, one of those vibrant lawmakers. But this constituency say, look, you're doing well, but you are ignoring us here. We sent you there to represent us. We did not send you to go and solve all Nigeria's problems. So please pay attention to our constituency. Yes. Otherwise, we'll begin to a process of recalling.
You mean Ugochinyere?
Yes, Ugochinyere.
All right.
Otherwise, we'll start. Those are the kind of things that should keep lawmakers on their toe, so that they know they have responsibility and they know people are watching. But any form of threat to life is a serious matter. Now, that is completely highly condemned. It's not acceptable.
In recent times, Dr. Nelson,
yes,
you would agree with me that, you know, the attack on journalists, particularly in this administration, it's alarming and it's concerning. Now, with what is playing out, the truth remains that if journalists should stop doing their job, Nigeria is in trouble as it is. Nigeria is in trouble if journalists are successfully gagged. If journalists are attacked and imprisoned and harassed and intimidated to a point that they are unable to do investigative journalism, they are unable to call out the ills in the society, they are unable to put people on their toes, then what's the point of democracy? What's the point of democracy? Now, you look at it critically. A House of Rep member is being called out for not doing anything in the House of Reps. Should we talk about the salaries being collected by these people? Now, you collect humongous amounts of money in salaries and in allowances and in constituency projects, and at the end of the day, it does not trickle down. The representation of your people is not recorded. And even the constituency projects, as it were, does not trickle down to your constituencies. And a journalist comes up to investigate and call you out on it. The right thing to do, is it not to, probably if you feel that information
publish
was wrong,
your records.
You clarify. You can go to media houses, you can engage the same journalist as well.
Yes,
you can engage the same journalist and have your own say and defend yourself and clarify issues. But coming out to outrightly, you know, attack a journalist and even threaten his life, for me, is the brazenness, is the audaciousness of some of our politicians. And Dr. Nelson, you are a lecturer of political science. Ideally, how should this be?
Well, part of the tenets of democracy is that we are a law-governed society. At least that is the ultimate aspiration. We are guided by the Constitution. And even when you are a lawmaker, you are a president, you are still to operate within the ambits of the law. Threat to life is a serious matter and should be investigated. And anybody found culpable should be held to account. Now, coming from a lawmaker that is representing the people is another very serious matter.
Yes.
And like this issue you raised about threat to journalists and all that, is something that is being in the press for some time. I was reading Aisha Yesufu the other time, recounting cases that investigative journalism is being harassed, journalists are being harassed and all that. And each time you see this kind of trends, it is something that points to a very negative thing in the society that we should not encourage at all. It points to the fact that civilian administrators or administration that is supposed to be democratically inclined is moving towards dictatorship. Because the moment you begin to be aggressive towards people erring and rejecting contrary opinion and dissent, then you want to stifle opinion. You want to rule at your own whims and all that. And that is not the way to go for democracy. Even under military regimes, the press have a right and a place to operate, because citizens need the information, they need to be educated, and their role as the fifth estate of the realm is guaranteed under the Constitution. It's indispensable, and that should not happen.
Right. Jackson, you have something to say?
Concerning the threat to life, I think there's a slogan within the labor area that injury to one is
injury to all.
I think the Nigeria Union of Journalists in Rivers State, I think they should inform their national secretariat to join
and escalate it.
And escalate this thing. They should write to the DSS, they should write to the IG, they should even write to Mr. President, and they should write to even the Speaker of the House of Representatives to report, because it's a shameful thing that a lawmaker now become
the breaker of the law.
The breaker of the law. It's a shameful thing, not just on that federal constituency, but across the country. Because before you know what is happening, international community will be hearing this. That a lawmaker in Nigeria threatened your son.
Yes.
You know, I think they should take it off from there.
And interestingly,
they should make her to regret their action.
And interestingly, you know, if the House of Representatives do not actually come out to condemn this action, it means by their silence that they are condoning the action of Honorable Blessing Amadi, and by extension,
yes,
that gives a representation of the National Assembly, because people will now think that, okay, this stories going on, you know, right now in social media, in the news of journalist harassment, intimidation of journalists and all of that. It's true. And if a House of Rep member could do this and goes unscathed, it means that the National Assembly is condoning such actions.
No. There is difference between ESA and official report.
Okay.
That is why I said the Nigerian Union of Journalists
should make an official report.
Should make an official report to the leadership of the House of Representatives, even to the chairman of the National Assembly, so that they should know that one of them, this is the way he is, this is the way she is acting. Because only that one, they say when one finger is stained with oil, it will, you understand?
Yes.
At the end of the day, people overseas will report. I'm a member of so many security associations across the globe.
Okay.
People overseas will call now. Is that the way your lawmakers behave in the country? Because the behavior of only one person is what those people will use to judge everybody. So these people will make it official to the National Assembly, chairman of the National Assembly, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. They should report. And the DSS, the police, and others to intervene. But if, according to you now, if they allow this thing to die down like that, next time, she won't call. She will bring out to come and be killing people.
Because the union let the slide without any
exactly, because some of them believe that immediately they get there, they are above everybody.
Okay.
That is it. But they should not take it lightly with her.
All right.